Hi there, welcome to the Nerd Presgrove case. We're taking a look at a discussion regarding a new Partners in True Crime podcast. What's that all about in regards to the Nerd Presgrove case? If you have missed out on them, you've not been notified, you haven't got the chance to watch them, well, you should be able to find most top right corner of the screen where the eye symbol is. If you click up there, you'll see the video from last night and days before and the full playlist. Welcome to anyone that is currently watching this live premiere. Feel free to make use of the live chat box on the right hand side of the screen. And by the end of this video, if you have any additional thoughts or questions, drop a comment down below under the video. It will help with spread the awareness and I'll try and respond back later. You'll find a pinned message as well below with additional links if you do want to support this channel. So what we need to start off with first is the situation with Partners in True Crime, and I think that might be on the official Justice page. Let's head on over and see what it's all about. This post was created 3 days ago by Mary Kern, and it reads, "Any update on when the Partners in True Crime will come out with podcast?" It sounds rather vague that, but this is to do with Nerd Presgrove. At least from what I was aware of, there was no more coming up. But then in between, you had a supposed leak, or it was posted to a particular area, but not on YouTube, and Partners in True Crime have been informed about it. As for action being taken, I don't know. Alicia Lee also made a reference as well. And there might have been some summaries on YouTube in comment sections, which I didn't quite pick up on at the time, but when I think back now, that's probably what it was all about. It just so happens that last night there were some people stating that Partners in True Crime have uploaded a new video to their channel, and it's to do with a certain section of the either interview from Caden Pressey, the last one, or a brand new one which involves the mother Alicia Lee. I've not seen it myself, so I don't know completely, but what I did do was I went on Partners in True Crime, their channel, the main page, and I did not see any new videos in relation to this case. So I don't know if there's any crossed wires, misunderstanding, but what we do have here is the comment section. We might as well read through it just to make sure and tick it to all comments, because I just want to see what people have to say. Dakota, seems they went quiet, or seems they went quiet, it's weird. The thing is, and what does Jane say here? They announced they were going quiet a few months ago. Well, they did. They said that they were going dark or something like that. And that was to check for evidence, verify it in the background. And just before they went dark, they also mentioned about them going down to Oklahoma Terrell to film stuff. And I think it was part of a documentary at the time. Whether it was a success or not, I don't know. But Robin Smith says, Partners in True Crime, a true crime podcast. Right. What does that exactly mean, though? Does it answer anything? Mary, yes, Mom, I'm caught up with them all. I was just wondering if or when they will release the newest one. And Robin says, I thought it tagged them, but I guess not. So Robin Smith, the aunt of Nerd Presgrove, is also in the dark about it. And she tried tagging Partners in True Crime with this post in order to get a response from them. It just wasn't successful. So when you got certain members of the Presgrove family left in the dark too, that really says a lot, doesn't it? Tammy, I thought I saw somewhere they said they were asked to not post anything else due to it could compromise the case. And Robin says, no, that's not true. Oh, is that so? So does Robin Smith's response counter Alicia Lee's by any chance? I don't know if I'll be able to find hers. If I do, I'll show it in this video. But I just wasn't... it's interesting. Joyce... So... This is a little update. I used to say Burger, but it's actually Joyce Burgow. Yeah? Burgow. Partners in True Crime. All right, so Joyce tried tagging them. It didn't work. Here we go. Marcy tagged Cindy Dorfman. They just say hi. And then Marcy says, did you see the above question? No response. So... definitely a breakdown in communication. It's not quite working out, is it? As someone who lives in Oklahoma, there isn't a lot of information on this case. They have done amazing with what they had. I don't think they have any more updates on this case. And it's interesting because there are people from Oklahoma that actually reached out to me and said, I didn't even know about the Noah Presgrove case and I live really nearby. It's because of your videos, Raf. That's how I found out about the case. That's crazy, that, isn't it? I live in the UK and my videos have managed to spread awareness of a case in which the viewers reaching out to me actually live in that area. That's crazy. They aren't on my podcast list anymore. When I click on it, it says unavailable. This podcast is unavailable, Partners in True Crime. I wonder why. Was it deleted, taken down? At least for the videos, they seem to be still there. Robin Smith says, I don't know, I have it on Spotify and it's all there. Is it on YouTube? Yes. Have they found some solid facts? And Billy tags Rob Dorfman and no response just yet because it was 1 hour again. So it seems to be a little bit quiet, doesn't it? One thing I didn't acknowledge beforehand was Victor Presgrove, Noah Presgrove's father, also asking, is it on YouTube, this podcast, these videos? Are they still there? Do you see that level of disconnect? Not that it should be expected, but you got Partners in True Crime, which I'm guessing have communicated with the Presgrove family to an extent in the past, or maybe face-to-face if they did go down to Oklahoma to do interviews, to reach out to people and whatnot. I could be wrong, but when you look at the communication now, it seems to be, are they doing anything? Don't know. Maybe I'll tag them. It's like we're all on the same level, and you thought there would have been a bit more of a hierarchy, as in who knows what's going on, who's in contact with one another, and then it's drip-fed down, and then the people at the bottom, the majority of the audience, end up hearing about it at a later point, whether that be for legal reasons, or there's any complications along the way, delays, it happens. But in terms of this updated interview or the next part of it, I did manage to find the post by Alicia Lee, which I'll share with you in just a second because it's all relevant to today's discussions. And I don't know if it will actually go into detail about what it's about, but I just remember a summary, and it is a public comment. It might have linked to what's the name called now? He had like a brown profile picture. I don't know if the name began with a J or something. And they were basically talking about how it's to do the interview Partners in True Crime, Alicia Lee, talking about maybe Kathy Bingham, possibly the CCTV footage at the house when she came round, the deal with that, the footage that was shown on the mobile phone, what that was about, the highway footage, bits and bobs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just sure I remember seeing a comment about that type of stuff and it didn't quite click at the time, but then later I thought, that may link to this. So I don't know if it rings a bell for anyone, but in terms of the context regarding that stuff or the clip, I don't know how long the video was, 23 minutes, or it could be more. It wasn't posted on YouTube, it wasn't leaked there, but it was posted on the Sofa Sleuth page. Now, one person recently said, oh my God, Raf, you've not even seen this on the Sofa Sleuth page. I'm thinking, how can one see it if they're not a part of that page? Simple as. And take in mind, the Sofa Sleuth group is a private one. So as who they let in and let out, well, fairly restrictive. And if some people may join oppositions, spies, but you probably have to gain trust and go through all that process. And if you're behind enemy lines and you could become a target or you could get attacked at a later point, it's a bit risky, if I be honest with you. But this Sofa Sleuth page is where the likes of Brooke Bounds, Carter Sarah Long, possibly Stevie Howard, parents, friends of friends of those party goers. Caden Pressey not included, Alicia not included. You get where I'm coming from. Like a certain side, where they gather together, share their thoughts, their opinions, reactions with time. And then here and there, you will get some normal people, genuine people on the other side that try and sneak into the Sofa page to get screenshots, to get info, and then pass it on elsewhere and repost. So it is going behind enemy lines, and it happens on both sides of the community. Some could say it's a little bit silly, but, you know, it's like and it's above board, when I repost or share with you screenshots or comments onwards on YouTube to do with the Facebook pages, the case discussion or the army page, which not everyone will have access to because these pages are private too. But don't worry, I did reach out to the admins or the ones in charge originally and said, is it okay? And they said, of course. So there's no issues there. But there might be other pages where people will join on in, get a hold of stuff, don't ask, and just release. And that's where the recklessness can come in. So with the theme of recklessness and releasing stuff which supposedly isn't supposed to be, and with what we've heard from Robin Smith, the aunt, saying there's no legal issues, or there doesn't seem to be any restrictions with what partners in true crime can and can't do, it's not an issue. How does that compare to what Alicia had said previously? Let's compare. As you see on screen, this was the 5th of December 2024 on the Noah Presgrove Army page by Alicia Lee. And she says, be advised, the files in my personal Dropbox account, as well as Caden's Part 2 interview, are private property and in essence are now considered stolen property. Anyone connected to the sharing of or publishing of this stolen property is liable both criminally and civilly. Partners in True Crime have copyright over the material in Caden's Part 2 interview and is protected under federal intellectual property rights. Please notify me if you know any of the people involved in this matter. So it sounds rather serious. Now, if you was just to read the first sentence or so to do with Caden's Part 2 interview, you could just assume, oh, is this an old reference to the second formal interview Caden did with the police, as in June 2024? Because the first interview, separate, standalone one, was October time, way before. But you know, with the Dropbox account and it being hacked, but then it wasn't because it was shared to other people, and those that gained trust ended up screwing Alicia over, then leaking it elsewhere, which is just as bad as hacking. See, you could be awkward and say that people hacked, not literally, but figuratively speaking, if that's how you word it. Apologies if I messed that up. Where you gain the trust of someone, you hack into their mind, the neural pathways, so they're on and in sync with you and trust you, and then they open up or share stuff, you get it, and then you run away and then share it and leak. It's still damaging and it can cause trust issues with time, but you can clearly see that it's not to do with the old news, it's to do with the more recent stuff. A Partners in True Crime interview with Caden Pressey, Part 2. What was Part 1? Well, you can see it on YouTube, and it's the only interview Caden has participated in on that channel publicly speaking. You remember the original one, what we looked at, and the one since, which we've compared with the one done a month before? Because Caden Pressey, Partners in True Crime, the first interview, Part 1, was done July 2024, if I can remember correctly. And then there was a Part 2 that was released publicly, but it wasn't Part 2 interview. It was the first interview, Part 2 of it, like the last 10 minutes of the Part 1 interview. And then I guess a standalone Part 2 was done around the same time or later on, but wasn't released publicly until recent time when it may have been leaked at the same time or later to the police one. Who knows at this point? But I did make reference because whether it be in the comment section here or elsewhere on Facebook, people were talking about it being shared in the Sofa Sleuth page group on Facebook. That's where the video can be found, and it's to do with Alicia speaking. So I don't know why it's referenced to Caden Part 2 if it's Alicia doing all the talking, unless both were being interviewed and then she took over. But regardless, there seems to be some serious issues and repercussions behind it all. Copyright, criminal, property is liable both criminally, civilly, and yet you got Robin Smith saying there's no issues with this part 2 interview. So there seems to be a bit of a disconnect with people from the looks of it. I'll try and include all the comments if I can, just to see what people have to say. I'll have to click on this. It appears we had some issues with Facebook then when it came to loading up the comments, but I think it might be working now. Justin Roy says, in my opinion, I bet George Choden had something to do with it. Supposedly Justin has been on the receiving end of George in the past, but also George has countered Justin too. It's been a bit back and forth with time. Originally, Justin saying how he gained the trust of George and vice versa in hopes of being able to communicate and pass on info and just try and work things out. And then George went dark and turned on Justin supposedly, and it went all wrong. And supposedly it's happened again elsewhere. Beth responds, maybe think of an IT guy within our groups as well. Both could be true. Very well. Who is an IT guy? What does that mean? Beth, I was already thinking Tim Daniel, IT. He blocked me, but someone said he posted Caden Pressy's interview, Snake. That's my opinion as well. We got Jen Zikuda. Shout out to Jen. I think I'm aware of this individual, but they go by a different name elsewhere. I'll just keep out of respect for privacy. Click there. We got Becca Ann. Wow, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry, Alicia. Jan says, didn't Trav, as in which Trav? Travis Monson? Travis Davidson? Anyway, didn't Trav come out and say that Brooke Bounds-Carter leaked the OHP interview? I thought she was getting legal counsel. Let's stop calling it Caden's interview. This was an OHP interview with a witness conducted by OHP investigators during an active investigation that should have never been brought on public forums. I don't know anyone who wouldn't stop to consider. 1, this is not my property to share or my story to tell. 2, could this be considered tampering with evidence or obstruction? 3, partners in true crime copyright material also does not belong to anyone but Rob Dorfman and Cindy Dorfman, and any platform where that copyrighted material is published is breaking the law. Both the owner/admin and whoever shares it to be published. I believe it's called online piracy, and any platform where this material is being viewed should be reported to as such. I guess if it's done in the wrong reasons to cause disruption to a case. What else? Just because someone shared a link with you does not give you ownership to the material. If I give you a key to my friend's house, does that then give you the right to enter her house, confiscate a personal property, sell or trade that property for your own personal gain? Nope, it's called theft. Not even sure if there aren't some wire fraud issues as well. Right, so for Jan to say, let's stop calling it Caden's interview, even though Alicia was calling it Caden's interviews. There's few disagreements there. It's more so an OHP interview with a witness. Who is that witness, though? Is it a mystery person? What do we have here? Oh, no. Well, we're not going to bother with that post. Jan says, best post that person has ever done. Melanie with a human face upon a cat. Very interesting. I agree. Awesome post from him. I see he's been able to sift through the lies and figure out that the hit and run was a convenient way to distract the public from what really happened to Noah. And still runs their mouth obsessing about me, trying to discredit me and just whine on and on, which is very pathetic and childish. But these are the humans that I have to deal with over time on YouTube. It is what it is. And you know what? I'm going to make some predictions, but I'll do them later, I think. Bernie, when a criminal has already committed one crime, at that point, they, him, she, doesn't really matter to them how many more crimes are committed as long as their arse is covered. So it happened. I hope whoever is responsible for sharing any information that's supposed to be confidential gets caught and charged. Sorry that y'all having to deal with this. Out of control. Just no one. What's this one? Just watched the Caden Pressy interview on the Partners in True Crime YouTube channel, and I have a question that I am hoping. Why is one person making a post and then responding to the post? That's a bit odd. Okay. Okay. So I think it was Jan and some others where they say Trav Davison is that other YouTuber, supposedly. 1 day ago, Army page. Was it really 1 day ago this? I don't remember seeing it. Just watched Kane Pressy interview on YouTube. I'm guessing it's part 1. I have a question. I'm hoping Caden can clear up for me. You said that Jack came bursting through the door at 5:15, yelling, Noah's dead. He leaves. At that moment, did you guys ask Jack how Noah died or where Noah died? Because I'm trying to figure out how y'all knew to drive down the street to where the body was if Jack never mentioned that Noah was found on the highway, or at least in what direction. Trav then says, another problem is that if Noah had one of Caden's shoes on, that supposedly leaves Caden with only one shoe. It's not normal to just put on one shoe and then go jump in your vehicle and start driving it. Should have been an awkward situation with only one shoe and he didn't even mention it. I mean, you could be trying to find the other shoe, you think, oh, screw it, and then either you hop about with one shoe or you just take it off completely and just wear your socks and leave, you know. There'll be people in Africa that don't have shoes, don't have socks, bare feet, but they'll still walk about and it's durable. So it's not the end of the world. But in response, people are saying that Trav Davison, his comments are just dumb. Caden Pressy would have seen the lights on the highway and several trucks. Caden Pressy also discussed looking for his other shoe and hopping to his truck on 1 foot. Trav is just gaslighting. Jen, common sense can answer these questions and Caden already explained he couldn't find his other shoe. That's pretty much it. What do you have here? Hey guys, I didn't come to this group just to get the same type of replies and responses that I got from Noah's Army. If you were protecting Alicia or Caden, then just stop. It is not a coincidence that insert random mysterious driver here and Georgia stopped a mile down the road and that Noah was found a mile down the road dead. Common sense, guys. It is 2 + 2 and anyone who doesn't see it is probably just a spy for Noah's Army and Justin Roy and the Newtons. You got to take in mind the timing of when Georgia, the cousin, actually made it back home. That was, and it being confirmed by Alicia Lee reaching out to Caden at 2:42 in the morning and the side-by-side rollover supposedly at 2:40, 2 minutes before that when Noah was outside, supposedly still awake and alive at the party house. It wouldn't quite link, would it? And that's based off the timestamps what we have been provided. So there's a lot of responses and reposts from Trav Davison all of a sudden, which is a bit odd. What's this? Trav Davison. Hey guys, I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow night on Noah Presgrove case. As some of you already know, I was recently kicked out of Noah's Army for laying down some very tough questions for Caden. Right, so this must be old stuff. Trav says a lot of things. If everyone remembers when he first surfaced, he was really aggressive and making several threats. Yeah, he was basically going around saying he was going to sue everyone left, right and centre, which was very childish. To the point that he claimed he came to that area down there and was looking at people's houses and cars. Oh God, not that again. The guy's very unhinged. I just want to make it known for those that weren't here when all this went down. He actually posted pictures of people's houses and cars. It's a little bit extreme, if you ask me. And other people are saying that this same said individual is the one on YouTube right now, making videos. So, makes you wonder. Do we actually have any responses from Alicia Lever? There we go. Did you possibly send these out to anyone? And here is what Alicia says. I did share the link in confidence with a person I trusted. He broke the law by sharing with many others that then sent directly to the media. Oklahoma is a one-party state, but this person is not one of the parties, therefore illegal for this person to share that information. Right. What, the Partners in True Crime one being shared on and or the private police interview with Caden Pressy? I wonder. But for Alicia to say that she did share the link to a person, a male, because Alicia says he broke the law. Who is this he? Who exactly? Alicia says also, when sharing a link directly to a file, it does not give one access to the entirety of that folder in Dropbox. The folder contained 21 files. This is what was stolen by hacking the Dropbox folder owned by an attorney. hacking did indeed happen. Is that how the interviews were placed online? Probably not, but other files were released that did indeed come from that folder and were never shared with anyone. The person speaking through my home security system, I assume those speaking poorly of me will state I shared my login information for that as well. I assume Caden's Snapchat account was hacked and deleted. He probably gave that information out as well. I assume his email, my messenger, his messenger wasn't hacked either, and we gave people that information. We needlessly wasted... Oh no, is it going to take forever to load? Where are we at? We needlessly wasted time replacing phones and placing extra security on our devices and internet because we just gave it out all. Then we have those screaming in the sofa sleuth group that I inserted myself into the case. My son witnessed things that were not being told, just as the other parents had defended the children. I had that same right. Caden had already spoken with Noah's family and OHP. He didn't owe anyone else anything. Then I'm supposed to sit back and let the internet world speak poorly of my child and family whilst keeping my mouth shut. They're not. How is that acceptable to anyone? I haven't been in this group or any group as I don't want to read the mess. However, daily I'm sent the horrible things they say and claim. What they claim OHP say about me. Having people call me just to turn right around and tell others what I said in their own twisted version. I can say I saw a dog which turns into she said she saw a brown dog. That is why we had a certain thing saved and recorded certain things, because everyone is running around lying. Noah and finding justice for him and his family have become lost in all of this madness. People just need to tell the truth. Stop playing games and playing one person against another, twisting nonsense to fit what you really want to say. The amount of people I trust involved in this case can be counted with two fingers. For us, this isn't a case, it's life and people. Forget this. Okay, so we've had some counterpoints there. I was just trying to clarify how this information was exposed. This wasn't aimed at you. Okay. So someone stole more than the partner in true crime in Caden Pressey interview with OHP. What else can they get their hands on? What else do we have here? You need to go and see what Tim Daniel posted in the discussion page. It's about you and Caden Pressey on the Partners in True Crime interview. He's posted it, and they're all saying they debunked the staging and removing the black shorts. They're so proud that they think they debunked it, calling you a liar. Don't get me wrong, I'm totally on your side. I just thought you needed to know all this. Right, so it's maybe in line with what I was trying to reference earlier from my memory, but it's interesting here how it's about Caden, about Alicia, about the highway, but then Jan Friorillo said it's got nothing to do with Caden, it's about a witness, no name mentioned, coming across as if it's a mysterious different person. So it's a bit all over the place, but maybe we'll get some answers below somewhere. Holly Yates says, I just saw this on his channel, but I thought I'd just share it in case. So many snakes slithering about. Oh, that one again, which Justin reshared. We'll get to that. Okay. Pinky, this is absolutely disgusting. Greasy fingers. I was actually sent... Okay. Tracy Gann. I was sent a copy of the missing interview. I had zero clue that there was any of that Partner in True Crime interview that was even missing. I did not or would not ever post anything like this, for it was not my information to post. I was also sent a copy of Caden Pressey interview with the detectives the night before Trav Davidson posted it to TikTok. Really? On TikTok? Or do you mean YouTube? And again, I would not post it in the groups or anywhere, as I am sure that is what the sender, she wanted me to posted this to the pages. The sender, she wanted me to post. So this missing interview, Partners in True Crime related, and the original private police one, the person that sent it to Tracy was a female, because Tracy says she wanted me to post it. So who would that she be? I do not understand how certain people are continuing to come across all this information. If Alicia Pressey or Alicia Lee did not share things with anyone. I just know for a fact that there's some very clever people in these groups. Well, we've seen what Alicia said before. Who shared the videos with you? Right. They stole. Jamie. Interview they stole to make Alicia and Caden look like they're lying and discredits them when it doesn't, as the video, the OHP interview mentioned in the True Crime Partners interview wasn't the OHP interview that they stole, which was after the patio video with Kathy. It was a phone interview video recorded with Trooper Anthony by Caden that was done a couple of days prior to the meeting with Kathy on the patio, when Kathy showed the press the shorts removal video, and is why it's been referenced in the Partners in True Crime interview, when they claimed the Presseys and Caden didn't see the shorts removal video, nor does it exist, which they did, and it does. And the surveillance video with Kathy showing them and discussing the shorts removal video is over 2 hours long. Further, Kathy did not willingly offer up that video either, and Alicia already knew about the video, what was shown, and what was the one who told Kathy she wanted to see it. And so that is how that transpired, and why Alicia wasn't shocked about the video either, which they spun this as well in order to suit their false narrative and try to discredit Alicia and Caden too. That's their MO, cut and piece, omit context and facts and spin everything to support their false narrative. Wow, a lot going on here, isn't there? Further, I know Alicia and Caden are speaking the truth, and I've seen the other phone interview video with OHP Trooper Anthony and know when it took place as well, and I know the order of events as they occurred. They can lie all they want. What exactly is the discussion page? That one. Click there. This was talked about in Warlight Ref's video today. Ooh, okay, and this is by Diane Hopp. Let's see what's mentioned here. Magic Mike. What? Robbie Taylor, my jaw is still on the floor. I need to listen to it again. Brooke Carter says, how about that video? Right, Robbie, I've watched it 3 times. Robbie, someone posted the video anonymously on the Sofa Sleuth page. There we go. Sherry, I've watched it twice but need to watch it again. Brooke, Caden Pressey and Alicia Lee Partners in True Crime video that was released. Robbie, or the Caden Pressey video that wasn't released initially but now is? Well, it's not on YouTube then. Skippy, oh, guess I'll have to wait until Raf covers it. I'm not part of the Secret Squirrel Clubs. Well, neither am I, and I guess if I was to cover it, things could get very messy and it could have a negative impact on myself. Is it worth the risk? And I said, there's a time and place for everything. What else do we have? Holly. Oh my effing God. She's gone below the belt now. I'm done with her firing shots and getting away with her lies. In this screenshot, is she again shaming Noah and saying he was involved in drugs? She's a mother. Is she out of her mind? Where's her empathy? Wait, is this in response to Brooke or something? I don't know. Whatever. I do believe she posted that Noah and Jack are anti-drug. She responded to another post, but states lower in the conversation the anti-drug part. I was just putting this here due to Alicia Lee saying a video, etc. being taken without permission. Right. I know this stuff is like 1 week ago, but I'm just, catching up on it because of the recent post on the Justice page, an official post by certain family members responding back. So we're linking it onto this because it's all in context. She alluded to the video released on December 4th. BBC is more than likely a part of the hack. She's really disgusting, Jamie Henson says. Sherry, Tim Daniel dude just posted about the Partners in True Crime interview with Caden Pressey and Alicia Lee on the discussion group. Doesn't know if it's old one or the stolen Alicia Lee. Needs to check this out. I mean, it'll be obvious to know whether it's a new one or an old one. If it's the original old one, which was surfaced publicly on YouTube, you'd be able to tell. Or at least I would. When Sherry referenced Tim Daniel, if people didn't know, Tim Daniel was the one that originally spread misinformation or false information about Vanessa Salazar to try and harm her and cause damage, and that caused all kinds of issues. So when you get an idea of these different people and what they've done previously, and then they've done something similar since, releasing stuff or spreading things in a negative way possibly, or with a negative undertone, you can see the pattern. Tracy, what he's talking about now is the new part of the interview that was obviously cut so we couldn't see it all. Right. So the interview that we saw publicly on YouTube, there's a longer length to it. Is that what you mean? Right. Oh, well, she had said something was stolen out the Dropbox. He's an IT specialist too. He. Oh, is that who Alicia reached out to or trusted and he turned on her? Because there's a lot of he's or she's. I'm just trying to understand who is who. Tracy, I have no clue. He has spread this like wildfire. Alicia needs to see this. Will she? 2 minutes of fame, like BBC. I've completely taken over the discussion page. Yeah, I mean, the case discussion page, there's a different wave of people now. More than others. Fake profiles, try and ignore. Totally see it, where they all agree with their own fake profiles. Girl, this group has got crazy. Jen, you have to be a vile and depraved person to do this. Something about the fact that Noah asked Brylan if he would have his back if in trouble was to happen and not Jack, his best friend, tells me that the hatchet wasn't completely buried from the night before, Saturday, and that Noah had a feeling of uneasiness, especially if he saw certain other individuals like his brother Colton, MMA, and his dad, all three together. I believe Jack Newton lured Noah away from the house to set him up. Jack knew he couldn't take Noah by himself. I also believe there were other so-called friends. Right, so the reference of Noah asking Brylan, do you have my back? Where is the proof of that? Is there any audio? Is there a video? Is there a transcript? Is there an official post, a reference by a partygoer or witness? Because this could be very, very important, but it seems to be lacking in clarity and context. If anyone can provide a clear update, then I might be able to apply it to a future video. And what's left? Is this Trav guy a drunk? Oh no. Right. So I just want to add on my predictions right now. So I'm not too sure if people have a short-term memory or what, or maybe some people are just very easily pleased and others maybe a bit too submissive. But this will partially tie in with my predictions as well. But first of all, we need to mention a historical event which did go down and did happen. And it's to do with the private police interview with Caden Pressey and the police. You remember that? I did a video about it, yes. Did I release the footage? No. But I did a summary from my own point of view of what I've listened into. Now, granted, you can give credit and acknowledge the person that provided it in the first place, which enabled opportunities for other members of the general public to listen in. But supposedly, originally, it was the wrong thing to do and it shouldn't have been released publicly. And whoever first got a hold of it or who then passed it on and then the final person decided to post it, it's like a chain reaction. It's like something that shouldn't have happened, but it did technically benefit and help the general public in learning. There might be a bit of a double-edged sword to it, but when people praise or give credit to a certain individual for calling out some BS and saying, I'm going to refuse to engage with this Partners in True Crime interview, or I'm going to refuse and not upload it because I'm not going to get stuck into some kind of mess. I'm not that dumb. I'm not that stupid. And then maybe Brooke Bounds-Carter responds back to that person on YouTube and says, are you dumb or something? It wasn't me. I wouldn't even reach out to you. I never would. Who knows? Whatever messy stuff's going on there. But like, it's just when the general public are praising and bowing down and saying, you know, what this person has done, this statement, this paragraph, standing strong, standing resilient, not giving in, not uploading this footage, because if you did, you'd get in trouble and it could harm the case or it could discredit things. It'd be a bad thing to do, but because they resisted against it, they're a very good person. They're the same individual that originally posted the private police interview onto YouTube. And that supposedly wasn't acceptable. That was the wrong thing to do. Oh, but now because they decide not to upload this, they're a good person. Do you just forget about the past? Is this the goldfish mentality once again? It seems to be with humans, doesn't it? So I'm just surprised. And this is the thing, Alicia Lee wasn't happy with it at the time. The video was supposed to be taken down, the private interview of the person's channel, and it was, but only short term, because then it was posted publicly once again and remained public for quite some time. And then with a range of videos taken down. But who's to say that they're deleted? They could just be privatized. I know how humans work, right? But at the end of the day, let's just say it's gone now. At least there is a bit of a lasting impression or memory within here, as notes have been taken. Still not good, I know, but you just get an idea with the comparisons of other notes with time. It's just the goldfish mentality with people. And this is where my next prediction comes on in. If people jump aboard or jump off the ship, whatever, and go elsewhere, and if that other ship sinks, don't expect to be picked up easily here, right? What I'm getting at is, if people have a goldfish mentality, that's how history can repeat itself, and you wonder why things don't change and you're stuck in a never-ending cycle. And I'm not talking about life, that's too deep. I'm just talking about the true crime community in certain cases. I've seen it all before in the past. It still goes on to this day. The predictions that I made 2-3 years ago are still happening right now. I've predicted everything. Obviously, I'm not caught up within that tornado, but other people are. There's not much I can do about it. So there's that. And it can happen with other cases. Not been as bad here because the trouble or the conflict has been directly within the case, opposing opinions, thoughts, and some attacks made. It's not, you know, like the other cases in the past, the drama wasn't all about the community or the case. The drama was indirect, separate stuff, which was then brought into that case or community by people, which is worse, right? In this case, any drama or conflict is within and what's gone on, what's gone down beforehand. People familiar with one another, some aren't, and others more distant. So there is any negativity, darkness, or aggression, that energy, at least there's some activity, and it's for the case, it's for Noah, which others could say it's against. But if it's just the theme around Noah, at least there's some action. It might not always be for the right reasons, which is unfortunate, but still. And anyway, when it comes to that private police interview, it was literally a default default account with a random username with lots of letters and numbers, completely random, which had a link to the, I don't know if it was a link to the Dropbox or a link to the interview, but I never touched it. Because when I saw that, I thought, that's dodgy. What the hell is that all about? And that was a while ago. It's not even there anymore. Just went. I guess the account was temporary, deleted afterwards. But yeah, I can understand things like that. If you engage with, it could get you in trouble or you get into a bit of a sticky situation. And now there were some other points made by people elsewhere saying the reason why Warlike Ref does long videos or talks a lot because he's got to do it for legal reasons and cover his back. No, at the end of the day, just naturally the videos are long because there's just a range of things to talk about. And as for the wording and language, yes, I try to be specific when I can, but it's not always down to legal reasons. It can just be down to YouTube reasons. But it applies on a more serious scale, I guess. Just do what you can and try. I've noticed that with time, there's many other channels out there which have disappeared one by one, with other cases too. And with that being in mind, it kind of highlights that, well, they've gone. I haven't. What have I done which they haven't? I guess at times appropriate language, wording, and even the titles too. Even an exclamation mark or a question mark goes a long way in a title or video description. But that aside, I think we'll leave it there for now. Just as a standalone piece focused today, just to catch up on, because I wanted to let things simmer down in between and, let those discussions rise. Any thoughts by you? You can drop a comment down below. There is another post to do with Noah's black shorts. That might have been influenced by my videos in recent time. We'll see if it's worth covering or not, because I actually did a video of it myself in the past. Maybe not everybody got to see it or was notified. Maybe I do an update, a follow-up, or I look at another person's point of view than I compare it to my original thoughts, or even the comment section of that video to see what people had to say about it, and then compare, contrast. And then there might be some other shorter videos as well. If you are interested in the video that I did last night, it should be up there, top right corner. Be sure to check it out because it puts into perspective the reality of things, the state and the awareness, and some of which will actually shock you. So be sure to catch up there. All in all, hopefully you found the video interesting. If you want to hit the like button, that'd be appreciated, and the share so more people get to see it. My name's Warlike Ref. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Good night for now.